All right, so happy first team call of 2018, which is crazy to think that it's a brand new year. But happy new year to everyone. Good to see you all on. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm going to share my screen and get started. We are going back to basics. I thought this was, Jess, I can see you. Can you see my screen? Okay. I thought this was kind of a good topic to go over because, it's a new year. Depending on where you are in the business, I feel like this is a place, no matter where you are, that you always need to be sticking with the basics. Even when we want to try to get like fancy and do other things, like the basics always have to be there. So, but some of you maybe haven't been working the business a bunch or kind of got wrapped up in the holidays like a lot of us and just life circumstances. So this is kind of a good fresh start. All right, so I just wanted to revisit this because I know we talked about this last year, but I just wanted to start our year with this. The mission of Team Fit and Focus is to love, serve, and encourage individuals to step into a healthier lifestyle through fitness, nutrition, and personal development. Our community includes strong, fearless, and perfectly imperfect coaches who empower, support, and inspire each other. We are committed to positive change and influence in 2018. So I just wanted to start with that because this is our core focus. So no matter if we're, whatever we have going on, whatever goals that maybe we, don't always achieve, maybe things don't go exactly the way we are, like we have this mission. This is a mission that we're working towards, and I think it's something to be proud of. So let's try to keep that our focus this year. And at any point in time, I might mute myself if I have to cough, so you guys don't have to hear it. All right, we had some December life changers. I didn't get to post this yet, but wanted to share it here tonight on our team call. Amy and Diana, congratulations. You both hit Success Club in the month of December. And Jess, Stephanie, and Carol were right up there with changing lives as well. I'm very proud of all of you for finishing the year strong. And I know that everyone is off to a great start in January. This is honestly a time of year where people are really, really wanting to get involved. So take advantage of that. Our dates are posted in our team page. I just wanted to point out that we decided, so some of us leaders on the team, it's composed of Diana, Amy, Terry, Casey, and I. We kind of talked on our last call about eliminating Clean Week. Originally thought it was a good idea to try to do that, a team-wide Clean Week, and just was thinking that the dates are not always matching up, and it's hard to get people their products and have a specific week for it. So I think it's still a tool that we can all utilize for someone that is not quite ready for a full-blown program that's longer than a week, but so we decided not to do a team-wide group for Clean Week. So that's just a heads up. That's why that's not on there. I didn't forget to put it on there. Super Saturday is this weekend. Anyone going to Super Saturday? Awesome. I see everyone that I can see. Amy, Justin, Heather, you're the only ones I can see right now. I know that you're going. But hopefully there are many of you attending Super Saturday. That's always a great time to get motivated and excited, especially at the beginning of the year. Just a heads up, because if you didn't know this already, I know it's been talked about, but the meal plan for 80-Day Obsession is being released on January 8th. So it is coming out a week earlier for people to prepare and check out. Obviously, it's going to be something like A Little Obsessed with the time nutrition and that workout block and schedule. And obviously, it's going to be tricky for us to figure out, but I have no doubt that we can all make it work and make it work for our schedules. We have our Coach Open House on January 11th. That's next week. We were just talking on our leadership call tonight that this is something that we would really love to see the coaches on our team utilize, because I feel like it's something that is not used as much, but when I do see coaches inviting and adding to the Coach Open House, I see coaches sign up on our team and join our team. So we wanted to encourage all of you next week. So you have from now until next week. I'll open it in early next week, probably Monday, to get at least one person invited to our Coach Open House. There's also one post at 9 o'clock for coaches to participate on, just basically why you signed up as a coach. And I think it would be awesome if we had as many coaches as possible to join in on that post and share why they became a coach, because someone could connect with your story and why you signed up or your certain circumstance. So we would love for that, inviting at least one person and also joining in on the first post. All right, January 15th is our 80-day obsession launch, and then January 16th is our power hour this month. This is just corporate's focus. A lot of it is similar to what I have on our dates, but just so you know, all the 80-day obsession products are discounted through January 14th. So that's when the discount ends. And then also Team Beachbody Cup is going to be next month. So registration is going to be opening up on the 15th for that. So I'm sure we'll hear more information about that. But that's something to think about. Team Cup is comprised of teams of 5. Sometimes they've changed the rules, but most of the time there's usually only one diamond coach or above, lifetime diamond that can be on the team. So we'll have to check out those rules. But keep in mind, think of if you would like to join in on that. It's always been beneficial to work with a team. Yay for our Canadian coaches, vegan Shakeology flavors. Woohoo! That's big. That's big news. And then at Super Saturday, the Success Club trip for 2019 will be announced. And this month, you can earn double dollars for the Success Club trip, which is nice. Oh, and the Success Club reward, Mel Robbins, 5-second rule. We all know her. So that's the Success Club reward for this month. All right, let's move on. So we're going. Great. I don't know what's going on. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we're going back to basics and talking a little bit about joy setting tonight. So the first thing that I'm going to have you guys do tonight is, hopefully you have maybe paper around you. We are going to take 5 minutes to just write down what brings you joy when it comes to our business of health and fitness coaching. Okay, so anything and everything about this business that brings you joy. Okay, so we're going to just take 5 minutes to do this, and then we'll revisit this at the end. Got it? All right, go ahead and get started. Okay, we'll stop that for right now. Like I said, we're going to come back to that. We're going to go over going back to the basics, and then we're going to revisit the part about joy setting at the end of our call. All right. Hopefully you guys came up with lots of stuff. Okay, so some of this is like reiterated, and we've heard this a million times before, but again, sometimes it's just a good reminder of where we all need to be. So back to basics. Are you being a product of the product? Okay, so this is kind of like a self-check, being completely honest with yourself, and facing the brutal facts. That's from, I forget what book that's from. But, and don't get me wrong, like, I feel like there are some times where, like, I know when I'm following a program, that's when I do my best, when I'm following like one specific program and I'm following the workouts, the meal plan, I have the calendars and everything. I know that's when I'm doing best. But there are times where, like, I know that we have some people that teach classes. I know we have some people that run, that, you know, take other classes, do other things. But whatever you are doing, that is something that you need to be consistent with and sharing that with others. And maybe it's that you want to hop around. Like, maybe you've been hopping around a lot with programs because of, you know, waiting for 80-day obsession to come out or whatever it may be. But instead of, like, do you wake up every morning and just say, okay, I'm going to do Insanity Max 30 today, or I'm going to do 21 Day Fix Extreme. Instead of that, like, do you have a plan? Do you plan it out? I know when I've done different, when I've made my own calendars, I still doesn't quite feel the same as a calendar that's made for me, but at least I had a calendar of a hybrid that I could check off and know what I did. So just being consistent with whatever you're doing, talking about how it fits into your schedule, talking about how you like the variety, sharing about how you take these classes, but you also do this, and the convenience of being able to get some workouts at home and some when you teach your class, or how it helps when you're running with cross training, whatever it may be, whatever you're doing, share it and be consistent with it. And then always progress over perfection. I think the reason why this call is also important is because I think that a lot of us get really hard on ourselves, and maybe we set our expectations and maybe we fall short and we get frustrated and we want to just quit with any part of the business. And that can often happen to us with being a product of the product. That can happen to our challengers with being a product of the product. They get frustrated. They think that they have to go completely all in with a program, with the nutrition and the workouts and everything, and maybe it just ends up being too much and they feel like they're failing, and then they just quit entirely, when ideally we don't want them to do that. You know, we want them to take baby steps and fit it in how they can fit it in, not get overwhelmed, you know. So that progress over perfection, like, we're not perfect, and I think sharing that is important, and being honest with that, being honest about that is important. So this isn't about being a perfect product of the product. This is about having progress over perfection with being a product of the product. All right, so that's number one, being a product of the product. And number two, these, in my mind, I feel like are the most important, and because they have to do with you and you taking care of yourself. And I think one of the joys with this business is that when we are doing this business, we're taking care of ourselves. And I think that's a huge benefit and a huge joy factor for me. I know I'm doing my best in my business when I'm doing my best taking care of myself. And there aren't a lot of jobs like that out there where it encourages you to take care of yourself. So I think that that's important. So are you committed to personal development? And this was something I was not committed to for a very, very, very long time, and something that I regretted not committing to sooner. So I think some of the things when you need to think about personal development is finding what you need. So what kind of content, what kind of personal development do you need to listen to? Do you need to read? whatever it might be. You know, what everyone else is reading or listening to may not be for you. You have to find something that's going to click with you, that's going to help you with your current situation and circumstances. And a big thing is to schedule it into your day. I know that I used to leave personal development up for, okay, before I go to bed, or I'll just fit it in when I fit it in, when ideally it needs, if I left it up to that, it wouldn't get done. And it wasn't until I actually changed my schedule. I would listen to a lot of personal development, and I get a lot of benefits out of listening to personal development. But I will tell you, when I actually pick up a physical book and I read from a book and can like highlight or underline or draw or make notes or whatever, I feel like I get a lot out of it. And it was super uncomfortable for me to make it something that I do first thing in the morning, but ultimately that's what got me to consistently read personal development every day, is when I moved it to the morning, when I started doing the Miracle Morning. So it's something that you have to find that works for you, but you need to schedule it into your day. Maybe it's after your kids go down to their nap, for their nap. Maybe it's first thing in the morning. Maybe I actually sip on my Energize while I'm reading my personal development. And I feel like that kind of like, wakes me up, and I get my personal development in before I work out. So find something that works for you, but schedule it and make sure that you are getting it done. I did want to share this recommendation to all of you called Jumpstart Your Thinking by John C. Maxwell. And I did a live video, but I know that I did a live video on our team page, but I know with the holidays and everything, it's been crazy. So I didn't know who actually caught it. But this is the book. It's very small. It's a hardback book. And it's called Jumpstart Your Thinking. It's a 90-day improvement plan. And what I love about it is that when I was relating it back, when I first started trying to increase my personal development, time is always an issue. We're asking people to find time to work out. They hardly have time to work out. And now we're asking people to have time to read as well. And for some people, that's easy and they fit it in easily. But for some people, it's not. For me, it was not easy. And so what I love about this is that there is not a lot of investment in time with this book. And if you don't mind, if someone just hopped on, if you don't mind muting yourself, because I feel like I hear some background noise. I don't know if everyone's muted. Anyways, so this was recommended for coaches and for challengers. So this is something that it's on Amazon Prime for like $7.35, something like that. And I am going to actually encourage all of my challengers to get it as well, because I've been really wanting to incorporate personal development into my challenge groups. And again, when I've tried to do books and stuff, I find that it can be difficult because, again, we're asking people to change their workouts, change their eating, and now personal development. But we know it all goes hand in hand and goes together. So this is really nice. There's a quote each day, and then like a little passage to go along with the quote. And then there is a reflection part. So literally, this is day one. Like, that's what it looks like. And so the quote is, and it's all about mindset, and it's just the way you're thinking. And we know that the way you're thinking can affect everything in your life, including our businesses as coaches. It can include how you're feeling about yourself on your health and fitness journey. It can impact your marriage. It can impact your parenting. It can impact so much. So this is just about, changing your mindset. And the first quote is, "You are today where your thoughts have brought you. You will be tomorrow where your thoughts take you." And so basically it just talks about changing a negative mindset to a positive mindset and how you have the power to do so. And then there's just a reflection. And this particular day, on day one, it says, "Make a list of words that describe your thoughts and feelings. Circle the negative ones and make a decision to start improving them." So just identifying those positive thoughts and negative thoughts. And by identifying those negative thoughts, you can commit to changing those. But so that's just what it is each day, which is really nice. And I think it's a great way for us as coaches to add in more personal development, or add in personal development, period. If you're not getting any in right now, and to incorporate it into our challenge groups, which I think is a big part of it. So the first two, back to basics, are product of the product and personal development. And in my mind, I feel like if you haven't, if you are not being a product of the product and you're not committed to personal development, I feel like you almost need to kind of just stop there and reevaluate things and figure out how you can fit in, being committed to yourself, because those first two things have everything to do with yourself. And it's hard to have the right mindset to move into the next basics, the next part of the basics of our business without having those first two. And truthfully, I think you're going to have the most joy in the business when you do have number one and number two down first. So keep that in mind. All right, so just some things. We know that we need to be sharing on social media. But again, I see a lot of coaches that come into the business and, and maybe you look at me as a coach. But guys, I've been a coach for almost 5 years. My 5-year anniversary is this month. And I coach full-time now. My business is going to be completely different from a new coach's business. My business currently is completely different from where I started as a coach almost 5 years ago. So you come into this business thinking, oh, I have to be on Facebook, and I need a like page, and I need Instagram, and I need to be doing IG stories, and I need to be doing all of these things. And if you're getting wrapped up in that social media world and it's not bringing you joy, my suggestion is to just pick one social media platform. Get good at that one. Get comfortable with that one. Feel like you have it down before moving on to a different social media platform. And honestly, when you're a new coach, I see a lot of people that want to, maybe get into a like page right away with their business. But realistically, you probably have a lot of friends and family members and acquaintances and everything already on your personal page. So starting a like page and having maybe 100 likes on there, 100 followers, and focusing on that like page when you have 500 friends, it doesn't really seem to make sense. So focus on where you have the followers and the friends and the most interaction until you're ready to explore and move on more. So that should be your place where to start, where you share, where you're sharing your journey, the things that we were talking about. You're expanding your market. And when you're a new coach, you're focusing on just friends and family members that you already have on there. You don't even have to worry about the expand part. But I know for me personally, I have been, I'm very much expanding right now, and I have even just gotten overwhelmed and not gotten in a groove with expanding on Facebook and Instagram at the same time. I almost had to do like one or the other. I needed to come up with a routine or a groove to be able to, really authentically expand my network and, find people that are like-minded and similar to me. And that was really tricky for me. That was hard. And I feel like that is something I'm working on, especially with the new year and starting out this month. But you just need to I think focusing on one is helpful. Once you are able to focus on that one social media platform and be able to make those connections, that's when you can transition into that inviting. When you're sharing authentically, when you're connecting authentically, those are just going to transition easily to inviting. And once inviting and having challengers, you are going to easily recognize. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like recognizing is a vital behavior, but I think it's something that just comes automatically. And it doesn't need to be like a full-blown recognition on, recognizing one person on your timeline or in a challenge group. It could be simply commenting on someone's post and then giving them words of encouragement. That's recognition. That's easy to do. Okay, so this is something that maybe, and this is kind of small, so I have this posted in our new coach training. And so that's actually another suggestion if you really want to go back to basics, joining our new coach training and checking out what is there to refresh yourself, but also it's a good refresher because you'll know what you have to offer for your new coaches. And this is something newer. And if you have been a new coach in recent months, you have hopefully seen this. But if you have been a coach for a while, maybe you didn't even catch that this existed. So this is my suggestion to make January your first 30, even though there's more than 30 days, right? Yeah, 31. I'm going to make sure I was right. Make your first 30, but we're on the second day. But this is a great action plan to fill out and just a way to kind of revisit the basics as a brand new coach with a brand new year. And you can see that it has at the top your why you're a coach, and then your first 30 goals, how many people you're wanting to help, how much you want to earn, going through that Coach Basics new coach training if you would choose to, and sticking to your fitness program and Shakeology. Those are the basics. This first 30 as a new coach is basically going back to the basics. It has the action steps as well. So if you can see, it has you posting on social media, starting new connections, finding out someone's goals and inviting them, following up with contacts, working out, personal development, recognizing. But the key is that it asks you how many and daily or weekly. So you can actually fill this in and decide, okay, how many times a day am I going to do this? Or how many times a week am I going to do this? And you can figure out the numbers there as far as those different action steps for the basics. And then your time, figuring out realistically, like how much time can you spend in a day or a week to do these action steps? So we don't all have, an hour at a time. You might have 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there, 10 minutes here, or you might have an hour or 2 hours at a time, whatever it may be. But fill this out, figure out how much time, what your commitment is going to be, and what kind of obstacles might you have to overcome to plan ahead for it so you are prepared in advance. And then the last thing is the accountability check-in. So this would be for your upline coach. So whether it's your direct upline or me, whatever accountability you think you might need, in the beginning, sometimes you might need weekly accountability check-ins, or maybe you need bi-weekly accountability check-ins. So whatever it might be, reach out to your direct upline or reach out to me. I'm happy to help you too. And if you need that accountability check-in, let us know. All right, another big thing is commit to tracking. So I pulled some of these trackers from Amy and Steph and Dawn and Jacqueline, and one of those is mine. And this is like a perfect example because if you look at them, they're all different. They're all different trackers. They're all, everyone has different goals. Everyone has different amounts of time to work on this business. Everyone's circumstance is different. So what I love is that these trackers are different. There's not like a one tracker fits all. Yes, there are some things like you should have your workout on there, shakes, your personal development, your connections, inviting, but you can decide how many of those invites you're going to do a day or a week, or how many connections you're going to do a day or a week. And I think I pointed Jacqueline's out. Hers is at the bottom. And what I love about hers is that she and I had talked about, how she was like really struggling for time and trying to figure it out. And we just said that, we need to, and I posted this in our team page, but just to bring down those numbers, make them realistic for her, get good at posting once a day, get good at making 2 connections a day, because once she creates those habits and gets really good at them, it's a lot easier to increase those numbers to, to larger numbers as she has more time or circumstances change. So I think that it's important to find a tracker that works for you, and commit to it, because I think that this is really going to truly, if you want to succeed in this business, you need to be able to look at a week of your business and reflect on it and see, what can I do differently? What do I need to improve this week? What did I do well? These are important practices to have. So I think committing to tracking, it's January 2nd, beginning of the year, it's important. So these are several examples. If you need trackers, there are some in the file section. If you can't find any, if you're looking for a specific one, post in the team page, let us know. All right, so that's basically the basics. Going back to the basics. That's everything. That's the vitals. That's what we already know of. But what I want you to think about now, and I would love it if anyone wants to share, but what actions will bring that joy into your life with this business? So think about the things that you wrote down on your list. What actions do you have to take to bring that joy into your life? That's what I wanted to just kind of close this call with. So I'm going to stop so I can see your faces instead of just a couple of you. Is anyone willing to share something that brings joy to them from this business, and maybe an action that you would have to take to ensure that joy? Go ahead, Diana.
One of the things that makes me the most satisfied and joyful is when I get just a random message from one of my challengers. Even if it's not somebody who actively participates in a challenge group, but simply just saying, I just got one earlier on Sunday, how the challenge group has changed their life in some way. And so for me, I think it's not forgetting that, even though I can't always see, sometimes I feel like I'm posting to an abyss, that small actions every single day do add up to something for someone else, and making sure that I am doing more to connect with challengers. And that's a big focus. I'm going to be a challenger in Jess's group this coming January to just get back into the groove of like why I started. And that was for me. And going through that experience again, I think with a new program will then help me to help more people. Thanks, Jess.
I love that. Thanks for sharing, Diana. Does anyone else want to share?
I think for me, just being part of this community of people, and like my news feed constantly being so positive all the time. Like there's a lot of negativity in the world. And this is what I talk about in the Coach Open House, is like, this has made such a huge change for me, just having all of that positivity every day, seeing everybody working on their goals, sharing inspirational quotes, sharing videos, like that just brings me so much joy and makes me so happy. So that really is just a huge part of it for me.
Yeah, I think being a part of a team is definitely a big part of it for me. Seeing the connections that so many of you build with each other, and how many the connections that I build with all of you, I think that is definitely a big one for me with the joy factor. Amy, you were going to talk. Go ahead.
One of the things that brings me the greatest joy is watching someone who's wanted this for so long, but has been scared to do it, to finally jump in. I had a girl who has wanted to do Beachbody On Demand for, I don't know, a year, and her husband kept saying no, and she got money for Christmas. She's like, I told my husband I'm doing it, and that's it. And she said, I'm signing up tomorrow, and she did. She signed up today and already pressed play on 21 Day Fix, and she's so excited. So it's things like that just, when you don't give up on people, and then you don't give up on yourself, you see transformations in so many other people that you don't know are going to happen.
Right. So those invites need to happen in order. I mean, I think that we can all say that, like, when we see a challenger that gets the results, or, loses weight, or fits into a different size, or, just feels so much better about themselves, like, all of those things happen because we invited them to do this with us. They didn't just do it on their own. We invited them. So obviously, inviting brings that joy when we have those challengers that are succeeding. Or even with coaches, like when I see you guys hit a goal or sign up a new challenger in a group or whatever accomplishment that you have reached, when I see that brings me so much joy, and it makes me realize, like, I need to be inviting to this opportunity more. I need to be putting it out there more for more coaches to experience this with us, and along with the tribe and the community that we have.
I think what saying about inviting is that inviting is hard for lots of us. It was hard for me when I first started. I know it's hard for lots of my new coaches too, because you don't want to feel salesy, you don't want to be pushy, but you just have to remember that someone invited you. And how did that make you feel at first, and what made you decide to sign up? So if you come at it from a place of being genuine and like, hey, this is working for me, I want to help you too. Come at it from that place, and you're not going to be pushy or salesy or yuck feeling.
Right, exactly. So in the new year, I hope that we can focus on the things that bring us joy, focus on the positives, and stay that way throughout the year. Obviously, we're going to have our ups and downs, but it happens to all of us. Anyone else want to share before we hop off? Does anyone have any questions about anything about the back to basics or?
Michelle, can you share that doc in our team group page?
Yeah, I'll put it in our team page.
Or I don't think I'm in the new coach one. If it's easier to invite me to that, I can look for it there.
Yeah, I'll post both. I'll post the new coach training. So if anyone wants to peek around in there, it's in there. But I'll also post the document into our team page. And just a heads up, it is in the news and training part of our online office as well.
Okay. Yeah, I tried to look for it, but I couldn't find it.
Oh yeah, well,
I found it referenced in like a big document, but I was like, "Where's the actual plan?"
Yeah. I'm still learning the new online office. I'm not quite there yet. Okay. Anything else from tonight? All right. Are we ready to have an awesome 2018? As we're all ready to fall asleep, and I am ready to die. All right. Thanks for joining tonight, guys. Happy New Year.